Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. You know those English mistakes that just seem absolutely glued to your brain? Well, today, we're taking some of those dry grammar rules and turning them into a dynamic, highly actionable guide to deliberately unlearn those stubborn linguistic habits. If you've ever felt like you're stuck on loop, making the exact same errors over and over, you are absolutely in the right place.
Okay, let's look at our roadmap really quick. Number 1, the modal verb trap. 2, rules of reported speech. 3, the storytelling tense trap. 4, words that sound alike. And finally, number 5, essential everyday vocabulary.
All right, starting with section 1, the modal verb trap, and breaking the to habit. So this trap involves one of the smallest but honestly most persistent mistakes in spoken and written English. It involves those little modal verbs, words like can, could, should, must, might, may, and would. Listen to this sentence. I can't to do that. It feels like a tiny slip, right? But the fascinating thing about language habits is that if a learner says this today, they'll very likely say the exact same thing next month, and the month after that, unless that pattern is deliberately unlearned.
The rule here is absolute. Modals are always, and I mean always, followed by the plain base form of the verb. There is absolutely nothing in between. You'd never say she should to call him, and you definitely don't say she should called him. It's literally just she should call him. The tense, the subject, the context, doesn't matter.
The crucial point here is that the fix is entirely mechanical. You really don't need to overthink the grammar concepts. Just build a physical stop sign in your brain. After you use any modal verb, just stop. Check your next word. Is it a bear verb? If yes, boom, keep going. Moving right along to section 2, rules of reported speech and shifting backwards.
We use reported speech all the time when we're telling someone what another person said rather than quoting them directly. It's incredibly common, but it comes with a very specific set of rules. Think of it like a time machine. Most modals and tenses have to shift back one step into the past once they drop into a reporting sentence. So if someone says to you, I will call you tomorrow, when you report that later, it turns into, she said she would call me the next day. Will shifts back to would. Can shifts back to could. Make sense? But what happens when we report a question? That adds a whole second layer of trickiness. To handle this without getting completely tangled up, you need to check 2 steps separately. Step 1, has the tense moved back? Step 2, has the word order gone back to normal? Doing these 2 checks prevents the extremely common mistake of getting the tense right, but leaving the word order completely wrong.
It's actually really interesting how different these 2 structures are. A direct question like where do you live literally inverts the subject and the auxiliary verb. But a reported question goes right back to an ordinary statement order. He asked where I lived. Notice how it just completely drops the auxiliary do and obviously drops the question mark as well.
Let's dive into section 3, the storytelling tense trap and keeping timelines straight.
Storytelling brings its very own tense trap. Imagine you're narrating a wildly stressful day or strange coincidence that already happened, and you say, I opened the door and my dog runs straight past me. It is so incredibly easy to get pulled into the present tense partway through a narrative. When a memory feels vivid and emotional, our brains just want to experience it right now, in the present.
Did you catch the timeline glitch in that sentence? Opened is past tense, but then runs is present. Mixing past and present in this way makes for a really jarring experience for your listener. It makes the timeline so much harder for them to follow and kind of pulls them right out of the story.
So try building this simple but super effective habit. Do a quick mental read back and check that every single main verb is in the same tense family. Whether you're typing an email or chatting with a friend, keeping those verbs firmly seated in the past will instantly upgrade your storytelling.
Next up, section 4, words that sound alike and the power of slowing down.
Stepping away from grammar for a second, there are a handful of English words that cause immense confusion simply because they sound exactly alike when spoken, or they just look incredibly similar on the page. Take wait, wait, waste, and weigh. 4 totally unrelated words that get tangled up surprisingly often. The trick here isn't a grammar rule, it's simply slowing down for a fraction of a second to picture the actual physical meaning of the word before you say it out loud.
Similarly, bag and back cause a lot of trouble simply because their ending consonants sound so similar in fast speech. Taking just one moment to visualize what you are saying, like, are you holding a bag or are you looking at a back, prevents this incredibly easy mix-up.
Which brings us to another classic trap. 2 words that look almost identical, but actually belong to entirely different word classes.
Advice with a C is the noun. It's the thing you give. Advice with an S is the verb. It's the action. You advise someone by giving them advice. Visualizing the spelling in your head before you speak or write is the absolute key to fixing this one.
Finally, Section 5, Essential Everyday Vocabulary for Health, Work, and Habits. To wrap things up, let's look at a small set of vocabulary that is highly useful to have ready for conversations about your daily habits. Being able to precisely describe your lifestyle just makes everyday conversations much clearer. Sedentary perfectly encapsulates a desk job or a lifestyle with very little movement, and active is its natural opposite. Having these precise words locked and loaded instantly elevates your fluency.
Here's another incredibly useful distinction to keep separate. Relative covers anyone in your entire extended family tree, whereas parent refers specifically to a mother or father. These two often get blurred when someone is just talking about family in general, but being specific ensures your listener knows exactly who you mean. Now, when discussing outcomes, statistics, or trends, English typically expresses them as a rate. You have a survival rate, a recovery rate, a dropout rate. This one little word so efficiently communicates that you are talking about a percentage of a larger group. So build a habit. Train your brain to reach for the word rate whenever you mean a percentage of a group. Getting comfortable with this specific vocabulary makes your conversational English sound noticeably more natural and precise. All right, let's do a super quick recap of the mechanical fixes we've covered in this explainer to help you sound more natural. First, check for bare verbs after your modals. Second, shift your tenses and word order backward in reported speech. Third, keep your storytelling verbs strictly in the past. Fourth, visualize those sound-alike words before you speak. And finally, reach for the word rate when discussing percentages.
Because the first step to mastering all these traps is simply stopping to check your words, I want to leave you with this question to ponder. Which stubborn grammar habit are you going to deliberately unlearn today? Pick just one from this explainer, focus on that mechanical fix, and watch your English totally transform. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time.